There is an invisible war being waged against your wallet, and the battlefield is the economy itself. You work harder, yet your savings buy less. Prices climb, and debt feels inescapable. But what if this isn't just bad luck? What if it's by design? For centuries, the same financial playbook has been used to quietly transfer wealth from the many to the powerful few. Let's begin with the most ancient sleight of hand. Currency debasement. When a state overspends, it faces a choice. It can impose unpopular direct taxes, or it can engage in a silent theft inflation. The Roman Empire perfected this. Emperors, strained by military campaigns, gradually reduced the silver in their denarius coins. That coin, once solid silver, became mostly copper with a thin silver coating. The official value remained, but the real worth plummeted. Savings dissolved, prices spiraled, and the people bore a hidden tax. The method has evolved, but the trick remains the same. Later, in the Middle Ages, a new form of pressure emerged. The voluntary loan. Kings in Europe didn't request money from wealthy merchants. They demanded it. Refusal was not an option. These forced loans were framed as patriotic duty. Repayment was often delayed, made with worthless money, or simply forgotten. The crown funded its luxuries and wars, while the productive class saw their capital come. It was coercion disguised as commerce. The 17th century saw the system itself become the ultimate tool. The Bank of England's creation in 1694 wasn't for public benefit. It was to fund a war. Affluent individuals bought government bonds, earning guaranteed interest. But where did that interest come from? Taxes on everyday goods like salt and cloths, paid by the common laborer. The wealthy earned safe returns, while the poor funded them. It was a brilliant, institutionalized wealth transfer, a blueprint still in use today where the safest bet is lending to the state. Move to the modern era, and the mechanisms are more sophisticated, but the goal is identical. Deficit spending. Governments borrow colossal sums, selling bonds to investors. They claim it's for roads and schools, but vast sums flow to defense giants and corporate welfare. When the bill comes due, they don't tighten their own belts. They raise your taxes, cut your services, or inflate the currency away. The debt is sold as public investment, but the burden lands squarely on you. Then came the great heist of 2008. Banks made reckless gambles that nearly shattered the global economy, and who was forced to clean up the mess? The taxpayer, who emerged richer and more powerful, the very institutions that caused the crisis. This is the golden rule of modern finance. Profits are privatized, but losses are socialized. The public is told it's to save the economy, but it's really saving the system for those at the top. Even your retirement is part of the grand illusion. For generations, people have paid into state pension plans, trusting the money will be waiting, but governments frequently spend that cash immediately, leaving behind mere promises. It's a generational pyramid scheme. Dressed in the respectable clothes of public policy, your pension is not a savings account. It's a political promise. It functions until the demographics shift, and then come the reforms, higher retirement ages, and shrunken benefits. The promise is broken, and you are left with less. Do you see the pattern? Every turn language is weaponized. Inflation is called growth. Forced participation is civic duty. Bailouts are economic stabilization. The words hide the reality. A constant upward flow of resources. This is worked for ages because most people don't learn monetary history. They don't recognize the trap being laid around them. In recent years, the tricks have become even more complex. Take quantitative easing. After the 2008 crisis, central banks conjured trillions from nothing to buy assets. They said it was essential to save the markets. And it worked for the markets. Stocks and real estate soared. But who holds these assets? The wealthy. For the average family, the result was stagnant wages and a higher cost of living. The trick. Use a crisis to pump up asset prices for the rich, while diluting the purchasing power of the many. Another modern method is the hidden tax. Instead of raising income tax rates, governments lean on sales taxes, fuel duties, and, most effectively, inflation. When your cost of living rises faster than your income, that gap is a stealthy government levy. They benefit because it shrinks the real value of their own debts, but you are the one paying for it. This isn't a flaw. It's a central feature of the design. Then there's regulatory capture. Rules are presented as public shields financial oversight, safety protocols, but repeatedly, the most powerful corporations end up writing the very regulations meant to control them. From the railroad barons to today's tech giants, the goal is the same: own the system. The public sees a protector. The insiders see a partner. The game is fixed, and you're not supposed to know the rules. Why does all of this matter right now? Because the pressure is intensifying. Your savings are being eroded by inflation. National debt balloons with each passing year. Bailouts are the default solution for any market tremor. The outcome is a structure intended to make you run faster just to stay in place while a connected elite prospers. The lesson from history is that these strategies are Rome's coin debasement, medieval forced loans, in our modern money printing defraying eras, identical principles. And here is the brutal reality. Most will never break free because they do want to know they are in a cage. They accept inflation as a force of nature and taxes as an inevitability. They believe the official narrative that ignorance is the most potent weapon in the arsenal. Forgetting history makes you vulnerable to its repetition. This is why financial literacy is a radical act. To know the game is the first step to beating it. So what can you do? First, question everything. When a government announces a new stimulus, ask who truly benefits. When prices rise, recognize it as a policy outcome, not an accident. Second, seek assets that exist outside this controlled system, things that retain value when paper money falters. And third, never mistake the system's survival for your own prosperity. The machine is built to perpetuate itself. History's financial traps have ensnared citizens for millennia. They are the same forces quietly limiting your choices today, just wearing a modern mask. The only thing that changes is your awareness of them. If this connected the dots for you, please support this channel. Hit the LIKE button and make sure you're subscribed to Winds of Thought. The answers are in the patterns, and we're here to help you see them.